Hello, everyone. Get ready to buckle up because it's time for another thrilling episode of the Digital Adoption Show Season 3. I am your host, Arya Varani, a growth marketeer at Whatfix. Today, we're diving headfirst into an incredibly entertaining and eye opening conversation. So brace yourselves because by the end of this podcast, you will be equipped with insider knowledge on how different roles within an organization perceive the ever elusive term digital adoption in their corporate lives. But wait, there's more. We'll also embark on a journey to discover their individual digital adoption stories packed with excitement, laughs, and some surprising revelations. So let's dive right in and kickstart this thrilling adventure. So, my first guest here on the show is Darshan, who is a product marketer and has helped take early stage enterprise SaaS products to market in various industries. At Whatfix, his current focus is on the GTM for new products and helping customers drive more value out of the Whatfix suite. So, hi Darshan, welcome to the Digital Adoption Show. We're on season 3 right now. And
Hi, Arun. Nice to be
hi.
here.
Okay, so my first question to you would be how would you define digital adoption and its significance?
Okay, so digital adoption in itself is a pretty nascent concept, I would say, over the past 4 or 5 years. The concept and the software applications around it have been gaining traction. Gartner itself recognized digital adoption platforms as a software category as late as 2019. Right now, so what is digital adoption? It is simply the concept of helping software users, get more out of the applications that they use on a
Yeah.
daily basis. Now, all of us talk a lot about digital transformation, how companies around the globe are investing tons of dollars into digitizing their business processes.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. So, but while all the focus is on the technology piece of things, users are more often than not having to catch up.
Yeah, I feel like they face some issue when they have to catch up to the new technologies
Yeah.
introduced to them.
While there is, your usual training and support and all of that, it's all still very passive and static, is what I would say. So I think there's not enough focus on the users, but we stick to the concept of digital adoption for now.
Okay.
That's why it's so important because there's so much of money being invested into technology. It becomes that much important for organizations to enable or empower the users to make better use of this technology. And that's what we mean
All
by
right.
digital adoption.
All right. So, coming from your background, I would also like to ask you about this one term that I've been hearing about a lot recently, and that is userization.
Right.
Can you share anything you know that can help our users?
Sure. So, userization is a new term that we have coined at Whatfix, but it's not something new that we've invented or plucked out of thin air. It is something that we've been doing for our customers, and we believe that all digital adoption vendors need to do for their customers, but we're trying to give it a name so that there's more prominence attached to it.
Okay.
Now, what is userization? Userization is the concept of making technology more accessible for the user. It's about making software applications work the way users need it to,
All right.
instead of users having to adapt
Okay, okay. So
to
you're
how software
basically
applications
changing the
function.
software according to the user persona.
Yeah, I wouldn't call it changing because I
Okay.
think that would be too much of a stretch. We're just making it more accessible for the user.
All right.
Right? Now, that is what we mean by userization. Products, right? Be it a car or a software application for that matter, they are built for the masses.
True.
They're all standardized,
Yeah.
right? Now, the individuals that use these products are nothing but standard.
Yeah.
The users who use these products form a very wide spectrum in terms of demography, in terms of tech savviness and learning capacity.
Yeah.
Right? So products today, be it a car or a software
Huh.
application, are built for the masses. They're very standard.
True.
Right? But the individuals who use these products are nothing but standard. They form a very wide spectrum in terms of demography, in terms of tech savviness, in terms of learning capacities.
Yeah.
So for to take some statistics, right? So on an average, employees today in a large enterprise, on an average, they use at least 13 applications on a daily basis just to complete daily tasks and goals.
Yeah.
Right? So employees are having to switch between multiple applications that they find difficult to master, and they also struggle to find support in using these applications.
Every application has a different user guide.
Precisely.
Also, yeah.
So that's the gap that needs to be plugged, right? So userization is essentially the concept of ensuring that software applications cater to the unique needs of specific users. So that's what is userization.
Okay.
Now, every time we talk about userization, we come to the question of how is it different from personalization, which is a very, very fair question.
Yeah, because userization, there are so many broad, ways in which you can divide user category based on their
Right.
learning capabilities, based on however many
Yeah.
ways you told.
So the answer to that is personalization. It's about tailoring experiences for users, be it cohorts of
Yeah.
users or even individual users at times, right? Userization takes this one step ahead. So userization is pretty much personalization, the experience piece of it, plus enabling action in the flow of work. So
Okay.
that's what we mean by userization, and that's how it different. That's how it is different from personalization. Now, it'll be easier to understand this with an example, right? So I'll take a Whatfix example itself,
Okay.
and we'll see the progression from customization to personalization to userization.
Okay.
Right? Now, one of our customers, they're one of the world's leading financial services company, right? And they have deployed Whatfix on Salesforce.
Okay.
Okay. Now, what is customization? Customization is pretty much customizing Salesforce's modules to suit the company's business processes
business,
and sales
yeah.
cycle, right? Salesforce is a very customizable application. It caters to different needs for different functions, right? Sales, marketing, service, so on and so forth. And the Salesforce instance of one company would not look the same as the Salesforce instance of another company because they have customized it to suit their business processes. And this is at an organizational level. That's what is customization. The outcome of customization is pretty much better usability. Okay. Now, let's look at a more specific use case, problem statement to understand the difference between personalization and userization. So here the problem statement is at this company, right, this financial services company, the problem was on their Salesforce, on their sales CRM, overdue opportunities kept getting accumulated. Now, what does overdue opportunity mean? Any opportunity that is active, that is open, but it has passed the close date that was stipulated for that opportunity.
Okay.
The seller had estimated that this would be the close date for this opportunity, but there are so many opportunities that are getting accumulated in the system that are past this close date. They're neither won, they're neither lost, they're not
They're
dropped.
somewhere in the middle.
They're not being acted upon.
Okay.
Now this has two major implications, right? One is with so many open opportunities that are getting accumulated, there's potential loss of revenue because if you had acted upon them and closed some of them,
Yeah.
right, then there would have been more revenue for the company,
True.
right? And the other problem is this: there's a significant impact on accuracy of reporting and forecasting, right? That's the other problem. Now, obviously, it is a reality that there's so many opportunities that sellers are working on. There's a tendency to lose track over a period of time for whatever reason, right? The prospect might have gone cold, and multiple other reasons. So this is what is happening now. What did this company do with the help of Whatfix, right? So what they did is they delivered a pop-up notification, as we call it, to every seller on the homepage of Salesforce. So if you are a seller, you open Salesforce in the morning, you would see a pop-up notification saying, "Hey Arya, you have X number of overdue opportunities due, right? Take action right now." All right. So now, why this is personalization? Firstly, it addresses you by your name. Then it quotes the specific number of opportunities that are mapped only to you.
Okay.
It's
Yes,
not
yes.
saying there are 1,000 opportunities open in the system. It's saying there are, let's say, 30 opportunities overdue that are mapped to you. So that's what is personalization. It says take action now. That's where personalization stops. Alright, because the onus is on you as the individual to take action after that.
Yeah.
Okay, a reminder was given to you, which is very, very unique to you. That's where personalization stops. Now, what userization is that we went one step beyond here. So what we did here was, in that notification, the call to action button says take action now, right? And when you as a seller, you click on that button, what happens is it takes you to a page within Salesforce itself. It's a report which has a curated list of opportunities
Okay.
that are mapped to you.
Okay, so you can just examine each and every one
Exactly.
in
And
one click.
yeah, and the
Okay.
moment you get to that page, it automatically triggers certain step by step instructions, certain very contextual nudges for you to take action on each opportunity.
Okay, so basically the computer is pushing you to get those
Right, that's
opportunities.
Whatfix
Okay.
doing that. So that's the one step beyond personalization that we be, right? Because we are making it that much easier for you easier for you as a seller to take action.
Yeah.
Right? So we saw customization, the outcome is better usability. For personalization, I would say the outcome is better experience, whereas the outcome of userization is better efficiency and
Better
productivity.
efficiency. Yeah.
So that's how userization is different from personalization.
Also, I believe now that everything is turning digital, earlier it wasn't that way, right? So
Right.
there were people to constantly remind you of doing your
Yeah,
overdue
and that was not
tasks.
efficient.
Yeah,
Right? And that's not
yeah.
scalable. If you have a, let's say, a 200 member sales team, how many people do you have going and personally
True,
reminding
true.
folks,
But
right?
this is a necessity now that we're all
It is.
digital.
It is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Amazing. Userization seems to be a very interesting and trendy topic. Hopefully, our viewers and listeners will get a lot of idea about the same after watching this. Thank you so much for being a part of our show.
Perfect. Thanks. Thanks, Arya.
And
Good
I
to be here.
hope you will be on the show again sometime.
Absolutely. Thanks. Thanks, Arya.
My next guest on this episode is Arpita Haran. Arpita is a part of the HRVP team within Whatfix and has been with us for over 1.5 years. She supports sales, partnerships, solutions, biz apps, infosec, and whatnot. Okay. Hi, Arpita. We're very glad to have you on the show. I'm sure our users will get to learn a lot from your expertise. So, we're discussing digital adoption today, right? So, my first question to you would be how would you define digital adoption in the most common language which everyone can understand? How would you define digital adoption and how is it relevant in the HR department if you have to speak specifically?
Got it. Thanks, Arya, for this. And I think being in Whatfix for 1.5 years, it's been a great learning for me as well because the entire space of digital adoption was new to me.
Yeah.
So, if I have to sum up what is it that I've learned, I think digital adoption, in as simple terms, is just about empowering every individual to be able to use the applications, the technology
Yeah.
that they need on a day-to-day basis to do their job.
Okay, all right, all right. It is very important. It is very important because
Absolutely.
we're exposed to so many new technologies and so many new softwares when we join a new company. We
Right.
can feel quite lost at times.
Right,
So
right.
it helps.
Absolutely. And I think being in a team like HR, again, just the amount of interaction that we do with people, and we
Yeah.
get to see this on a day in and day out basis. And I definitely see the importance and need for digital adoption platforms because they can immensely help make our role very efficient, help the users, be able to navigate as well.
Yeah.
In our case, it's the employees, as we sort of support them through the whole
Onboarding
process.
journeys. Onboarding journeys
Correct,
also.
correct, correct. So if I have to just call out some of the processes, there's onboarding, there's performance management, there's career conversations, there's rewards and recognition. So
Yeah.
there's so many places that a DAP platform like Whatfix can actually touch. So
All
yes.
right, all right. So you've been in this company for a long time. How was the digital adoption journey for you like? Did you find it easy? Did you find it helpful? How did it impact you?
Got it. I think it was very exciting for me, to be honest, because I was excited to learn about the product, and that's what really pulled me to join Whatfix in the first place.
Okay.
And I think I continue to learn because Whatfix in itself is also growing in terms of the offerings.
Yeah.
And I've tried a few things in my role itself. So we've done things like pop-ups where we've had to do some important order communications. We've used beacons, we've used task lists where we wanted to make sure that employees are able to prioritize some of these important conversations
Yeah.
like check-in, like reviews and all of that.
Mhm.
We've tried to nudge all the employees in that direction and we've seen some great results as well. The analytics again is really helpful for us to, like understand what's the behavior, what are the changes, how do we, probably do this better next time and all of that. So
Okay,
absolutely.
so you've gotten a very positive feedback on the whole. On.
Right.
adaptation.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's iterative again. We learn something and then we put on it.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, it's definitely been helpful. Yeah.
Okay, all right, all right. So my last question to
Mhm.
you is: How did you face any challenges? Did you or your team face any challenges because you were being exposed to something new,
Right.
something which you had not learned before?
Sure.
So did you face any challenges? And as someone from HR, how do you handle when people face those challenges and come to you?
Sure, sure. Yeah, I mean, I guess when we do have new joiners into the team, Whatfix is new to them as well, and they're
Yeah.
trying to figure out. So while we say, "Hey, follow the flow," they'll be like, "Sorry, can you tell me where do I get started?" But I guess that's really a very small thing that we need to
Mm-hmm.
enable them with. But once they're on it, I think it's amazing because that's how Whatfix is, right? It's
Yeah.
very intuitive. It's very easy to follow. So I don't personally see any challenges as such. I think it's really about prioritizing on how do we really leverage Whatfix or DAP in the space of what we do and basically maximize out of it.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
How much change have you seen? Like you might have worked in this field before there was a digital adaptation platform,
Mm-hmm.
and now that we have that,
Mm-hmm.
do you notice any change? Do you notice anything easier, or do you notice your team members being a little more productive in
Right,
that way?
right. Absolutely. I think it does make us efficient because I can't even tell you how many reminder mails that we have to typically send, how many reports we have to churn out to say, hey, like this is the status, could you kind
Yeah,
of act on it? Just kind of making these nudges part of their day to day.
yeah.
I don't think we even need to do that. It just comes naturally that, okay, I see this on my screen, I need to act on it, so I'm going to do it, right?
All right,
So I think it really saves that effort for us.
all right,
Yeah.
amazing. Thank you so much
Okay.
for being a
Thank you so
part of
much.
the show. So my next guest here is Navraz. Navraz Mohammed is a sales leader and a distinguished alumnus of Symbiosis. With nearly a decade of experience in sales, he has honed his skills while working with renowned organizations such as GA Tech, Hacker Earth, and Belong. Currently, Navraz holds the position of leading the business development function for the entire Asia Pacific region at Whatfix. Hi Navraz, welcome
Hello.
to the Digital Adoption Show. We are
Thank you.
thrilled to have you, and I'm sure that with the expertise that you bring, everything that you say will be of some use to our listeners. So, my first thing I would want to know is how would you define digital adoption, and how important do you think it is in the sales department
Yeah.
specifically?
So if you look at the world, right, technology has taken up the entire function. So everywhere technology is involved, sales is no different, right? You have different tools that you're going to utilize for every single action that you have to do.
Yeah.
You have your prospecting tools, you have your sales outreach tool, email sequencing tools, account intel tools. Now, even if you close a deal, you have your contracting tools, your legal tools, multiple systems getting
Okay.
involved. The reason why I invest so much in technology is to make our sellers more productive. But the story isn't that beautiful everywhere, right?
Hmm.
If you look at it, technology adoption is the biggest challenge, which remains a challenge in your
Yeah.
digital transformation journey, right? That's
Hmm.
where digital adoption platform comes in, which is going to help your sellers be more productive and help them close deals faster. Yeah.
Increase productivity, and I feel a lot of people face challenge adapting to the technology because they don't come from the generation
Yeah.
that a lot
Yeah.
of us
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
Okay, so now that we've discussed digital adoption, how was that journey like for you
Yeah.
when you had to adapt to such new technologies and
Mhm.
incorporating it?
Yeah, so I got introduced to this term 4 years ago
Okay.
when I learned about Wordfix.
Okay.
When I joined this new company, I mean, I was getting introduced to a lot of new systems, new technologies I wasn't aware of,
Mm-hmm.
right? But when I joined here, I realized that when I first logged into my system, there was a pop-up which came and welcomed me, saying that, "Hey,
Yeah.
welcome to this organization,"
Yeah.
and it started listing down every single step that I have to do
Hmm.
to enter my emergency contact details, book for my headset, order my telephone numbers,
The
all those
entire
things.
onboarding journey.
Everything was taken care of, right?
Okay.
Step by step, it was able to tell me that, hey, these are the two, three things that you have to do to get onboarded into your system,
Okay.
into your role, and into your process, right?
Hmm.
And it was all so seamless that I would know what exactly I have to do and how exactly to do it,
Okay.
right? But what is even more interesting is that when I got promoted, right, the pop-up came up again and told me that, hey, congrats on your promotion. Now that you're managing a team of BDRs,
Okay.
These are the some of the courses that you can take on our library, which could help you become a better leader. When I
Okay.
logged into my CRM, it started saying that, hey, you're managing a team of sellers. This is how you can have visibility over your team's pipeline.
Hmm.
This is how you can create dashboards and reports, which
Okay.
will help your team to be more productive.
Hmm.
Right? So everything will be taken care for every employee, telling them what exactly they need to do to be more productive and be better at what they do.
So you believe it has helped your transition into becoming a manager
Absolutely,
also?
absolutely, yeah.
Okay, okay. So just following up on that, what impact do you think digital adoption platform, or as we call it DAP, has in the sales function? Impact.
I think it's very easy. More revenue, right? All the
All
application,
sales people talk about money.
yeah. So all these applications that we procure is designed to do something,
Hmm.
right? Designed to lead us to get more revenue. That's why we
Yeah.
spend that kind of money, right? If you think of it, if your reps do not know how to use Sales Navigator properly, they're gonna probably miss out on valuable prospects that you should be reaching out to.
Yeah.
If you don't know how to utilize your prospecting tools properly, you're going to miss out on your reach outs, your conversations, or your follow ups,
Yeah.
right? If you don't know how to utilize your competitor tools, you're going to probably lose your deals to your competition,
True. Hmm.
right? Now, it's all about using all these small information that you have every single time consistently. Now,
Yeah.
imagine a digital option solution coming and telling you that, hey, I noticed that your competition is present in one of your opportunities, so and so opportunity. Here are some of the documents that could help you understand more about how you can win this battle,
Yeah.
right? Here are some tech that you can probably share with your prospects, which can educate them more about the industry and win
Yeah.
more deals,
Hmm.
right? So it's about how can we make each of our sellers more successful by utilizing all the technology that we have already procured,
Yeah.
because we're not going to spend money because just because we have money, right? We are spending that kind of money because we want to do something.
Yeah.
How do we do that? Is what is helping this option solution.
Yeah, and now that sales is also very digitally driven, I believe adapting to such platforms is a make or break.
Yep.
They give you the information that you
Yep.
might need to close the deal, or you might lose on the client. So
Yep.
you would say it's very.
Absolutely.
Would you say you'd be as good a manager as you are if you didn't have all these tools, or would your team be doing as well as it is?
Yeah. I don't think I would have been this productive if I didn't have this.
Okay, so it impacts
Yeah.
productivity.
I would probably have learned it, but like a month later.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
being a part of our show. And I'm glad our listeners could get to know your point of view. Thank you so much.
Today, we are here to talk about userization. Userization is about making software applications more human friendly.
Software applications have come a long way, but users still need help to use them effectively.
The goal of userization is to make software applications work for every user the way they need it.
With userization, organizations increase revenue by accelerating time to value, driving end user adoption, and improving productivity.
Userization reduces costs by shortening the time, effort, and resources needed to develop and deliver software training.
Userization minimizes the risk of non-compliance with data validation and provides intelligent recommendations in the flow of work.
Our mission at Whatfix is to make technology accessible, inclusive, and intuitive for all users, enabling you to focus on what really matters, achieving your objectives.
With Whatfix, experience the power of userization and unlock the full potential of your technology stack.
Join us.
In creating a world
Where the technology works for you.
Not the other way round.
Thank you all for joining us on this enlightening journey as we explored the world of digital adoption and its immense value for various departments within organizations. By embracing digital tools and strategies, departments can unlock numerous benefits with the right support. If you're interested in delving deeper into the future of work, you've come to the right place. Stay tuned as we bring you fresh perspectives every week on the Digital Adoption Show. We are thrilled to announce that now our podcast is live on multiple platforms, including YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, and much more. Stay tuned for upcoming episodes filled with insightful conversations. We greatly appreciate your support and encourage you to leave a comment, a rating, a review to help us continue delivering valuable content. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comment section below, and maybe we can do a follow up podcast where we answer those questions. Thank you.